It is Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, Season 21, Episode number 11. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We're live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star, presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at LG.com/OLED Evo. Feels like forever since I've been on the air with you guys. I'm sure you have missed me, but I'm back.
Derek, what do you think about George Pickens? I haven't heard from you in 2 weeks.
You haven't heard me talk about George Pickens?
No, sir.
I love the move.
Okay.
I mean, like, argue with me and tell me why he's not a #1 receiver with a good quarterback.
Man, you know what? I was listening to 105.3 The Fan, and I don't want to say nothing bad about them because we like work together. Whatnot. They had some.
It's
odyssey.
okay. We all, and by the way, we all are good. We talk a little bit back and forth. It's all good.
They had some character from Pittsburgh. He's a Pittsburgh writer or something like that. And
Yeah.
Bobby Belt asked him, "Well, is George Pickens a 1?" And he was like, "Oh, that guy? Oh, no, he's a really good 2. He's da-da-da-da-da-da-da." Well, I watch film, you know, and you know, if
you watch film?
Oh, I sure do, Brian Broaddus.
Okay.
And if you're able to beat
I
Pro
never
Bowl
would've known
corners, that's a lie. That's false. If you're able to beat Pro Bowl corners, all pro corners, like #1 corners in man coverage, I think you're a wide receiver 1. Like if I think about what a wide receiver 2 is, I just think about Michael Gallup. I don't think Michael Gallup's whooping Surtain like that. You know, Gardner, DJ. I don't think he's whooping guys like that. There's film of George Pickens whooping guys like that. So yeah, to me, George Pickens is a bona fide wide receiver 1 with Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and old Russell Wilson. Please.
Right. Can I ask you this question?
Yes.
And this is a question for the table. Right now, if we all assume he is a 1, or at least a 1A, 1B, whatever.
Sure.
Who has a better receiving core right now between the Cowboys and Eagles?
People going to hate me for saying this. I think the Cowboys have the better quarterback. So I think by way of that, they'll have the better wide receiver core.
It will kill you for that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Tight ends? Are we adding tight ends too?
No, we're just talking 2 receivers and quarterback. Well, you don't have to take the quarterback, just the 2 receivers and their skill set and what they can provide for a team.
I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys because in my mind, shouts out to the Eagle receivers, right? But if they had like a terrible quarterback, I don't think they would be producing in the same way that I've seen George Pickens produce with terrible passers, right? Like if you just watch Pickens highlights and you will walk away going, man, that's a fantastic catch. Boy, that's a tough catch. But look at the pass that he had to catch. Don't just think about the catch. Think about him having to flip in the air 6 times or having to change shoulders where he's having to track the ball and find the football, right? Think about why that pass looks that way. If George Pickens finally gets passes on the money.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, come on, sir.
There you go.
And ladies and gentlemen watching, go ahead, Brian, please.
Yeah, this is where it's going to come down to is because I kind of feel like that Lamb, we've got an advantage with Lamb there. Where it's going to come down to is where Pickens is with the others. And to me, Vach hit it perfectly.
I did.
When you look at Pickens and how his ability to play on the move, and then give him the opportunity to catch a pass and make a run after catch. There's so many times we've seen him have to adjust, and now his run after catch gets negated because of a poor throw or an inaccurate throw.
Yeah.
I think that when you start to see, I think George Pickens is going to benefit from having a quarterback that can hit him on the move and allow him that skill that we saw in college where he's able to finish these runs. But there's so many times where you've watched him have to make plays behind him way too low and not take advantage of his skill set running with the football. That's where the Eagles have you a little bit there. That ability with Smith and those guys, when they catch that ball on the move and then they're able to get north-south and go, you know, that makes them a very, very dangerous combination. I think you've got the best one in Lamb. Yeah. Now, how do their two compare to your guy? And I think your guy will have a more even playing field with a quarterback that can show the skill set that he's capable of having.
Awesome. And this whole thing, I was just going to say, even the addition of Pickens, I mean, this is going to elevate Lamb's game even more. This is going to create more opportunities for him. So we know what we've seen with Lamb with not really having great wide receivers around him. Now having a guy like Pickens come into the game and create more opportunities, I think we haven't seen the best yet.
Well, okay, let me do one thing real quick here. And this is, and when you were talking, this reminded me so much of what you always say. You know, I'm asking here. I'm looking right in the camera and asking here right now. I'm saying this. Let's not get into a thing where it's Brandon Cooks and in week 5 AG's asking the question, well, where's Pickens?
Yes, sir.
Why isn't Pickens done? This is on this coach. The talent is there. Find a way to get this guy going in games. You can find a way, get Lamb, get all these receivers going, but especially this guy. This guy is a weapon, but don't have AG in week 6 ask, where's Pickens?
Well, that's why you have a different coaching staff right
exactly,
now.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying is, let's not. This might be the only year you have this guy. We don't know, but for right now, we'll see how contracts and stuff play out. But please, as a coaching staff, I'm asking, don't waste this guy's talent, and don't make us have to make comments about it in week 6, week 7, like, well, why are they not getting him involved?
Here's what I will say. The last time the Cowboys had this talented of a receiver as a number 2 or whatever you want to call it, 1A, 1B, whatever, when they've had this talented of a second receiver was Amari Cooper. Cowboys at that time were putting up 30-plus points a game.
Yeah, there you go.
And so I think when you give this quarterback that level of talent around him at the wide receiver position, he certainly has shown that he has the ability to make it work and to actually produce in that way to show you the value of having those kinds of receivers.
Well, also, too, on that point is even if Cooper was like big dog in that room, Lamb was a baby that year. Mm-hmm. You finally have an opportunity where you got 2 guys in their absolute prime. CD is in his prime, Pickens in his prime, right? So they're at the top of their game right now. If you Brian Schottenheimer, he has no clue who I am. They care nothing about what I got to say.
Well, that's the truth.
Come on. All you got to do.
I think that way sometimes, too.
All you got to do, that's facts. All you got to do is be better than what Mike McCarthy rolled out last year. And he's not here anymore, so I can kick them all around. The alarming rate of hitches, slants, or just go ball. There's no variety in it. At least I can say Kellen Moore got the best out of the Eagles guys, or at least Shane got the best out of the Eagles guys. How many times did we watch games and go, man, why don't we do this with CeeDee Lamb that's working, or this with Turpin that's working, or this that's been working? And it's like in the middle of the game, we're doing stuff that's never worked. Why are we doing this? If you're Brian Schottenheimer, keep it simple, do what works, throw the ball to Pickens, throw the ball to Lamb. Ferguson's going to be like, hey, I'm here. Yeah. Throw the ball to Ferguson. Yeah. Follow the game plan. And I'm just a dude with a camera and a microphone. They don't pay me millions of dollars to do this. They don't pay me millions of dollars to do this. Keep it simple.
To that point, how do you guys think they'll use Pickens? Because we've heard a lot about his ability to go downfield.
Yeah.
Is he a guy that maybe you move around? Is he a guy that the whole route tree is available to him? Like, what have you seen that suggests that gives you an idea of maybe how the Cowboys will want to use him?
Pickens said it perfectly. We are going to work off each other. Yeah. So they're going to double team Lamb sometimes, and Pickens going to get a one-on-one with some dude that they have no faith in, some miscellaneous cornerback too. And that's where your one-on-ones are going to come from. Then when they shade safeties over, okay, cool, now the middle of the field is open. All right, well, we're going to go away from Pickens a little bit now. And there's been this thing to where the defenses may not